Hey Capricorn, welcome to your August reading. I'm just going to jump right in and begin shuffling. I'm doing things a little bit differently to how I have in previous months. I'm doing kind of like a free card layout with more cards. But in the principle where it's like past, present, future, I will explain as we're going through. Which one for you? This one. And this one. Okay. Then that one. Yes, sorry. Your cards were distracting me. Okay, guys. So I'll jump in. I'll explain as I go across what each column means. So firstly, we have the past tense. So in this one, I'm kind of finding as I do these readings that they really are talking about the experiences that we've had in the past that affect us today, either in a positive, what we're supposed to be bringing with us and using that tool in our current present situation, or that we are holding on to that we need to release and let go of because it's hindering our growth. Let's see what this means for you, Capricorn. Okay, so we have vitality, health, and energy, salut. Okay, this is in reverse, so it's kind of saying pay attention because this is important. I feel as though in the past tense, it's giving me dual, okay? So I feel like this is pointing to kind of separate things, but I'll talk about the first thing first. So firstly, I feel like there is this time where you felt alive and that all your energy and health was doing really well in this moment. And I feel like this is something that quite a few of you signs are actually having, kind of like a nostalgic kind of period where you're looking back instead of forward or instead of in the present, on a time where that's where you will say that was my best self, that was my best time, that's when I enjoyed life the most, that's when I felt most alive, whereas on top of things. And I feel like, yes, there are sparks of inspiration there around those times. And it could even, as I'm saying that, it's like because that's your aspirations that you still hold and those values you hold today. They're the things you want and you're craving. So if you are lacking those things in this present time, it is easy to focus on the past. The problem with that is you're telling the universe that you don't want to be living in the moment, you don't want to be moving towards anything, that you're just happily to live where you have been. You're in a moment that no longer exists. You're not that person because, again, we evolve, we change, we shift into new ways of being. We never really go back to what was or what has been. Well, never do you do that. Everything, even if you were to have the same situation happen again, it wouldn't happen in the same ways. It wouldn't come across in the same ways or impact you in the same ways. Because again, not everything is the same energy that once was, right? I hope that's making sense to you, Capricorn. Secondly, I feel the kind of an opposite with this because of a past event that you are maybe lacking a vitality, lacking a health. The energy was drained from you. And I feel like there could be a moment that this happened significantly for you. And again, I feel like it's holding you back into a past. Now the tools, like I was getting the sense of little things. I feel like from these experiences, there are little gems of you to bring with you today. But I feel like you naturally are focusing on the things that should be left behind. The things that are hindering you, that are halting you, that are keeping you in this time. And I think it's, again, because, there's these values and these aspirations in this moment that, again, we're giving you that health, that vitality, that energy, that thirst for life. It was in you in those moments. But you're holding on to the wrong things. And this will be personal to you, so obviously I'm just helping point you in the right direction. But there are things there, again, that are nuggets of like things that you can say, I'm going to have that again one day. That's what I'm aiming for. Or I have those things in my life now. It's just I don't feel the same way about X, Y, Z. And I feel like this kind of conversation with yourself can be productive. But again, making sure that you are letting go of what was. It's not coming back. You're not going to have what was. Even if, and I'm going to use, for example, let's say it's a relationship. I feel like for some of you it could be. Maybe there's this one relationship that's what you wanted, that's what you want. And if you had it again, you'd be so happy. That's your thought process, what you're thinking. However, if you were to have that same relationship again, the people in that relationship are different people now. The experiences that you've had during that time or after that time have created this different shift in energy. So it's never going to be like that again. And realizing that can make you think, okay, well, I only want that. I don't want a different version of that. So I cannot have that with that person. I cannot have that situation anymore with, X, Y, Z. Or I am happy for it not to be the same. You're at least then allowing the past to drop away. Because presently I get this sense of it still fully being more where the focus is, and it shouldn't be. Paired with this, we have the Knight of Cups and the Six of Pentacles, both in reverse. So I do feel as though, again, it's like you are on a journey and it was halted, is what I want to say with that Knight of Cups. It kind of feels emotional, though. I feel like this is kind of like the reason is like there is emotional growth or something emotional that needs to be assessed within you. Something that hasn't been dealt with and needs to be. I would say that's the past thing that needs seeing, visualizing, and it is very much more on an emotional level and very personal to yourself in your own self-exploration. And then we have this Six of Pentacles. Let me have a look at that card closer up because the sun is shining on that. I'm not able to fully see this card. And that's kind of how my gift kind of works. Is like there's something from that's just not being seen. I do think you're fooling yourself in kind of like, it's like your memory is tainted. Like it's not how it was, or how you remember it is different to how it was. That doesn't sound right either. It's kind of like your memory is playing tricks on you. Now this is the Six of Pentacles. To me, this is a card of scarcity. Sometimes we don't realize what we've had and it's gone. As I'm saying that, I'm realizing that that's exactly it. It's like I feel like you are feeling like something's been taken from you, like what you had is gone. But again, I think that is just an incorrect perspective for you to have on your memories, to have on what you're bringing with you. And again, so you're wearing it close to your heart is what I would say with this. I'm trying to feel like this is in a past sense, but it's bringing me right into the present. So be aware that you are holding a lot of past self with you right now, which is not healthy for any of us. We shouldn't be holding on to things that we have. Like we shouldn't be bringing baggage with us. If we are carrying baggage, that means that we are a person that if we were to get into anything new with anyone, like in relationship wise, in career wise, you can apply it to anything. You're bringing baggage with you. So it's like you are not just one single soul, one entity coming into this table. You're bringing with you all of that, which means it's actually impacting you in all areas of your life. So for example, if you I'm trying to think of something really, really simple, like moving home. You're moving to a new home. Like naturally you could be moving with nothing, right? But if you are carrying all this baggage with you, it means that you are not emotionally secure, that anything can literally just taint your experiences in this moment, because what you have with you is all this stuff that's just all packed up tight, and you think it won't take much space, but it actually takes up a lot of space. And I'm hoping you're understanding this analogy. Like, I feel like what you have with you at the moment, you're not, like, if you were to walk into a room, that your energy, and Capricorn, you naturally have this ability. Every Capricorn that I've ever been around, they have this ability to really expand their aura to a point like how you're feeling, everybody can feel. Now you are carrying all this baggage that when you walk into that room, you are impacting with whatever that baggage is holding on to. And for the most part, when we say baggage, it's not a positive thing, right? There's a lot for you to unpack, and I think that's what, when you're thinking like, why can't I have this, or why is this not working, why does it seem like that, the thing is, it's what you're carrying with you is impacting you in all areas. It can be making you financially insecure, making you make the rash decisions and be reckless. Actually, Capricorn, I get this sense of being quite reckless. Now, we're now going to move on to the present card, because I keep getting this glimpse in the corner of my eye, which makes sense with that feeling of being reckless and rash and rushing into things. I feel like you have this sense of rushing and kind of forcing things. Now, that's going to, again, be a blockage for you. We have the Fairy Norn. She's planning, patience, and cooperation. She's your advice. She's saying, take time. Now, this card literally is about quality over quantity. This is about realizing that in order to make something that is long-lasting, that is made of the best quality ingredients, it's going to last forever. She's basically making a masterpiece that's going to be beautiful, people admire it, and it will last the ages because it is made with good quality ingredients, and every little detail is there because she took her time to create it. You'll see what I'm saying in the imagery. She is creating a tapestry of a unicorn. But she's taken her time. She realizes that in order to create something of substance, it's going to take a lot of time and effort, and she may be sat there for many nights, for years, for months, however long this takes. This is saying slow down, have patience, and remember that what you want is quality. You're not going to get quality if you jump right in, if you force things, you force commitments, relationships, anything. If you're forcing it, I feel like you should be saying, wait, do I want this? Is this really a next step for me? Or is this just because I want a next step? I'm making this just be the next step. I feel like you should, again, quality over quantity. Three of Swords in reverse. Definitely heartbreak and heartache for you. I do again feel this is, I'm going to say emotional baggage again, Capricorn. You're carrying a lot with you. And so take your time with this. With this card being underneath this, I would say that it's saying allow yourself the space, the time, and the patience. You can't rush getting over something. You can't rush grief. And if you are trying, if you look at the imagery, we'll put it upright, but it's in reverse for you. Put it upright. If you look, there's this heart that's bleeding. It's been stabbed several times, and all they've done is put a little bandage over it, and it's bleeding. That is not an effective way of mending something, like you're stopping the bleeding. It's going to keep leaking out, isn't it? And this is what I feel for you. It's trying to band-aid certain things so it's like just a little bit better. Now, I am big on one step at a time and making things a little bit better for ourselves. But for you, Capricorn, I feel like you're not actually making anything better. It's like these are the band-aids for you. It's like living in the moment, being reckless and rushing. So I'm going to use financial burdens as a thing, because I feel like this really can get the message across. It's like when we're like, people say live rich to be rich. So and they're feeling naff and they want to save and they want this X, Y, and Z. They want to be able to afford what they want, but they can't. So instead, a lot of people like that will just go out and do what they want to do anyway, buy the food that they want. And their money is literally going on food, drinks, alcohol, gambling, just having a good time. And then they wonder why they're not living rich. That's not living rich. You will actually very rarely see rich people living that way. Not somebody who's made their money and working hard to get it. They don't live that way. They live life in a way that really appreciates the luxury and the value of what their efforts have created, right? And that's the thing here. I feel like you're band-aiding as coping mechanisms, perhaps for a grief that is. So again, it's like you're doing the reckless things that make you feel like you're living a rich life, but you're not, because it's not expanding you in any way. And I hope that makes sense. And it's not just financial. That was just an example. We could apply it to, again, with relationships. You want to have something lasting, but instead you know that you have to meet someone first. So you're forcing yourself to, again, perhaps go out dating a lot and then trying to make rash, quick connections, hoping it will be long lasting. But again, you are settling each time, rather than, meeting someone, feeling like this person, I really got along with them. We vibe so well. That's a true connection. Just basically being like, this person can provide what I want from them. That's not always something authentic. It's literally a situationship. And again, they don't last in general unless both are on the same page. Like, that's not going to be long lasting. It is inevitably going to end. And I feel like that's not what you want. It's not what you're looking for. But you're band-aiding because it's coping. It's just covering up the scars a little bit. But again, the blood is seeping out because you're not wrapping and taking care of the wound. You're just trying to find a quick fix for it. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm being quite mean to Capricorn, but I'm reading the cards, so it's not me. Please forgive me. No, I'm just joking. Alright, so we have this final column is your potential future outcomes. In reverse, pay attention, the Yule Singer, rebirth, feasting, joy. This is saying you can have it all. And again, that Fairy Norn is a very positive card. It's a great advice card, but she's saying you can have it. This is what you're aiming for. So she is not saying, if you don't do this, you're not. It's just like saying, come on, let's patience. And this Yule Singer is like good time, celebration. It is a card of Christmas, so it potentially comes in, like, it's not that time of year now, but it can be saying that towards the end of the year you're going to be at different insides. But this is basically saying all will come. Rebirth, things are beginning again, things are flourishing. Can be a spring card, as it's not, it's a winter card, it's a festive card, but to me it's giving me that spring rebirth, joy. As the sun starts thawing us, I'm in Australia, so spring is coming up and things are starting to warm up and things will start budding, and the air just feels so much more positive, right? When we get out of that harsh winter, we come into this kind of joyous way of being, and this is the vibes that I'm getting here. Things are definitely looking up in the future potentials for you, Capricorn. We are with Ace of Wands in reverse. Again, this is kind of like saying, even though things are being rebirthed, it doesn't have to start from scratch. This is how I've kind of generally vibed with this card in reverse more recently. It's like you already are in this leadership role, so things don't need to be sparked anew. It's like the seeds are already there and you just need to tend to them. This is coming out totally different to how I even thought it was as I began reading this, so listen to that. But again, less fire, more patience, more think nourishing rather than forcing. And this is what this Ace of Wands is giving me. Normally, I mean, in an upright position, it's like new ventures in, I mean, it's not, but I would be saying more along the lines of new direction, take purpose, take action. To me, I feel like it's more like take your time, again, remembering efforts over impulse. Desires that are long-term rather than quick fix, dopamine fixes. And I hope that makes sense to you. But this is very positive and constructive. I'm kind of seeing it as in things are going to be directed in a much more natural sense where you're not having to be the one aiming. And I do think actually that's probably more better for you, is to stop forcing things and to let things naturally flow. I am typically someone's like, let's take action, especially when the cards are telling me that, and they are not telling me that for you guys. It's like, stop and take your time. Yes, we're actioning because we want movement, but we're taking our time, making sure that we are, again, the efforts are where they need to be. And I feel like that's on self, realizing and healing wounds rather than external from the self and trying to fix things in your life. Because again, if we fix internally, things outside naturally flow better because we are at a full capacity to be able to, I guess, weave the world around us is the term. But yes, hope that makes sense for you, Capricorn. This is very, very constructive. I am loving the constructivity. I don't know, make up words all the time. But you understand what I'm saying. I'm loving it because of that. I know it can feel a little bit harsh. This is a very harsh reading, Capricorn, because I feel like you need a little bit of a slap on the wrist. But in a very nice, loving, nurturing, Mother Nature kind of way. We want the best for you, right? And this is exactly what it's saying. Take your time. Quality. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Please subscribe to my channel to keep up to date for any future readings, and head over to TikTok if you want to see a quick little bit of guidance. I am hoping to upload more frequently, at least on TikTok, because my YouTube ones take a little bit more effort. My free world is a nightmare. So keep your eyes on all platforms. Thank you, guys.